So it looks like we're gonna have 18 tonight.
Cool. All right, we just went live. So, ready when you are.
I'm good to go.
All right. Turn this down. All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining our broadcast of PPR Esports. I am your host, Besteo, and joined today for the first time ever by someone else with PPR Nick. How are you doing today, Nick?
Dude, it's great. I'm glad we finally get to be together in the booth for a race. It's first time for everything.
100%, and I am very glad that I'll have company because today we have a full 100% GP. I think, is this the first time in PPR history?
Yeah, it's the first time we've ever done a full race. We're all just so sad that we don't get to see an actual Australian Grand Prix, so we're going to race one ourselves.
Yeah, it's for everyone out there probably feeling the effects of the COVID-19. I myself am feeling the effects here in sunny California. All the local grocery stores have been cleared out, and things are looking a little crazy, but, let's all hope cooler heads prevail and the necessary governing bodies will get the job done.
Yeah, hopefully. And meanwhile, while everything's going crazy outside of our worlds, we got our own little racing world where we can kind of distract ourselves and just have a fun little race.
Yeah, I gotta say, if there's never been a better time to get into a video game, especially one like F1. And why don't we get started by talking about our track today? We're heading to the Albert Park Circuit in Melbourne, Australia. It's going to be 58 laps, and the lap record is currently held by Michael Schumacher, and that is a 124 flat. 16 turns, 10 to the right and 6 to the left. There are 3 DRS zones, one along the pit straight, one along the straight after turn 2, and then a final one after the high-speed chicane between turns 12 and 13. It's only 2 miles around Albert Park Lake, and it's all the circuit info you might need at home, but we're going to go live to the track now. Let me fire this up. Boom, baby. There we are.
Yeah, yet to have anyone exit the pits and start a lap. They're about 40 seconds in, and everyone is still getting the setups on and just waiting for them to start qualifying.
What do you think? What's the strategy for a 100% race? Do you go for a really aggressive strategy with multiple stops, maybe 2 or 3, or do you want to go for the one stopper here?
So, watching one of my favorite YouTubers, teammate Marduk, he did a 100% race, I think probably earlier in the week, and he went pretty aggressive. I don't recommend going the hard tires here. You can run hards. They'll probably go the entire race. But I'd probably go more aggressive, softs, mediums. Preferably, I think you just want to start out on the softs. Because, 100%, you don't know what's going to happen. There's definitely going to be at least 1 or 2 safety cars. So if it's me, I'm probably opting to go on the soft compound tires in quali. But, we could see someone go on the hards. I don't recommend it, but see how it goes.
Well, hey, that's interesting stuff. I don't know that I myself have ever attempted to go for more than a one stop here. The softs just kind of go off a cliff usually, but don't they adjust? Do they adjust the tire models for the longer race distances? Correct?
They do. So you can run on the softs a little bit more aggressive than you would in a 50% race. They're going to last longer, and just time wise, I just think you're better off going maybe softs to mediums. But we'll definitely see some drivers go with a one stop today. Probably maybe softs to hards, or someone might do medium to hards. So,
what do you think your favorite is for podiums today?
I'm gonna go B-Dunk, John, and I don't know. We got a lot of new faces. Some guys that are just joining in just for this race. So I don't quite know what their pace is like. But B-Dunk and John, I think I'll definitely see on the podium today. Don't know about the third guy.
B-Dunk's been on fire this year. Have you been watching? Well, you've been racing in Division 1, so you've probably seen him zipping around you in that Williams car.
Yeah, we have a nice little Renault versus Williams battle going on right now. B-Dunk and Chandler kind of cancel each other out, and you got me and Double OT in Division One. So we have a nice little battle going on. But yeah, B Dunk's having a fantastic year, not just in PPR but his other leagues as well. So he's definitely gonna be my favorite for this race.
You know what? After seeing most of his performances, I don't see why not. Shame your teammate Chandler couldn't join us, though.
Yeah, it's a shame we don't get Chandler today. Maybe he just didn't feel like 100% race was his thing. But nonetheless, we got some great drivers in tonight. And I mean, John, by the way, who was our Division Two champion last season, doesn't race for us anymore, but he is visiting tonight, and he is a very quick boy.
Oh, and there's
So
our first off of the race, or the qualifying route. That's the Alfa Romeo of Hoopalicious into the barrier there, down the backside of the track here. Wait for him to get his car righted. Who do we have on a flying lap? Can you see?
I believe we have John and the Ferrari of IB Na as well is also on a flyer. Got a lot of guys right now out on their flying laps.
Very good. It looks like Ibana here running on the medium tire, finishing up his lap. Time to beat is a 121's flat. You were right about B-Dunk. He's already showed up. Shot across the bow to the rest of the field with a 121 on the soft compound. So he'll be going for a very aggressive strategy today. Oh, Ibana a little wide into the grass there, but hopefully it hasn't cost him too much. And it's looking like a 125. 120.
Yeah, definitely not the time he's going to want right there. But
No,
yeah,
not
really
at all.
locking it up second to last turn, which is easy to do. I mean, trying to maintain as much speed as you can, and that's an easy spot to lock up. So
Yeah, they don't really give you the benefit of the doubt. They call it a left-hander, but it's really more of a high-speed hairpin, and then into a very, very quick right-hander where your shifting has got to be pretty much on key.
and then let's see, looks like we have Oregano is invalidated his lap. So we have you have Funky Cactus right behind him.
We're on board with DeCoach right now, it looks. 121 still the time to set. Those top 5 runners right now are B-Dunk, John, King Kirk, Sprightly, and Ronan. No surprise there about the B-Dunk taking pole, but good to see King Kirk in the mix, as well as Sprightly.
Yeah, and still with more than half the grid setting laps right now. Be interested to see how this shapes up. Got a lot of guys starting off on the mediums, so see how that shapes up at the end of qualifying. If they opt to stay on those and set another lap, or if they opt to go onto the softs.
Well, I guess the question remains then, is Australia really geared? I've always felt it's geared a lot more towards track position because it is kind of a difficult place to overtake, and that's a Red Bull right into the barrier there. What do you think, though?
I think if we're talking real life racing, Australia definitely can be track position, but I think we're more aggressive in esports, so I don't think Australia, you look at it like it's Monaco, where Monaco is just, you're not overtaking anyone. Australia, there's still sections of the track to make overtakes. I mean, guys are going to be opportunistic when it comes to trying to get ahead of the guy in front.
Oh yeah, that turn 1 is a vicious overtaking zone right before the second DRS.
Oh yeah, and I mean, even the start of the race tonight too, I am very afraid to see how these guys get through that, because I hope everyone understands you got 58 laps tonight, so you don't have to win it. You don't have to win it into turn 1.
Very true.
Nice lap there by Honorati.
Wow, with a 121, pipped him by 8 thousandths. Wow.
Yeah, him, B-Dunk, and John all looking very nice up there.
It looks like Brackish was trying to back off here for a good start, and he's kind of... All right, he's got going now down the main straight. Let's go for a onboard of a flying lap here into turn 1 with Brackish. Turning in nice and early, taking a little bit of that inside curb. Kissing that right-hand curb before the DRS. Getting a nice little toe from the Brownie man there. Into the right-hander. Slow and steady wins the race through here. Short shift into the left-hander. Trying to get the traction down before the long, bendy right. And here we we are into Sector 2. Twisty bits before the quick right-left towards the high-speed chicane. Careful to not take too much of an inside line and dip a wheel onto the grass. That will cost you vital tenths into the chicane.
And that is, yep, that's a lap over there for Brackish. He definitely took way too much curb right there on the inside.
Looks like we got B-Dunk on an outlap. Let's go see what he's up to. Yeah, so I doubt that many of you at home watching probably haven't heard by now, but for those who haven't, F1 is in postponement until looks like May now, and it looks like our first race of the year will not be Melbourne, but in fact it could be Azerbaijan or even later depending on the scale of this COVID-19 outbreak. Nick, have you felt any of the pangs of the pandemic on your end of the world?
No, not too much right now, besides the fact that grocery stores are completely emptied. We had a gas station. We ran out of gas at one of our local gas stations, Walmart.
Oh, wow. Gas?
Yeah, Walmart is completely empty. We have a local grocery store here in Texas called HEB, and one of the stores had to shut down because they ran out of food and
they were
items.
out.
Yeah, they were completely out and had to shut down. And they usually operate 24 hours a day.
That's incredible. You know, the Safeway near my house, I went in. I live near, I'm like 20 minutes east of Oakland, and I live in a pretty low-key area. 2 days ago, I went in, picked up a couple things I needed, a couple bits of canned food. I didn't think it was going to be that serious. I went back yesterday to grab like one thing, and the line was around the block to get toilet paper.
Yeah, it's a crazy time. I mean, it's really, you can see how it's affecting the country. And I mean, sports, we have no sports, and sports are usually the thing that we use to get our minds off of what's going on in the real world. And it's just, literally right outside of us. So,
very true.
B-Dunk.
And that is B-Dunk finding, it looks like an entire 6/10 flying lap. Wow.
Yeah, that was quite the lap. Hoopalicious as well. He is looking like a quick boy today as well. He's just 2/10 behind B-Dunk.
We could have a very tasty battle at the front here. So got a Red Bull back on an outlap here. We got Jules going for his outlap right now. Most cars kind of resigning themselves to the pits, maybe hoping the track will ramp up later in the session here.
Yeah, and I want to know, everyone in the chat, what lap does Jules retire tonight? Because it was very hard to get him into this race. He has been complaining about 100% race, but yet he has still joined it here tonight. So I'm interested to see how long he lasts.
We might get our answer sooner than later, as he's going to start his flyer here in about a couple turns. Jules has had a bit of a tough go at it this year, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Jules has always been a driver who doesn't really start showing his true pace until the second half of the year. Most of the tracks that he's strong at are at the back end of the calendar. Last season, I think he had a string of like 5 or 6 DNFs, and then by the end of the year, he racked up like 5 top 5s or something crazy like that. So
that's pretty good.
Jules is a very odd driver to watch. We like to clown him just a little bit. He knows we're just having fun, but he's a very odd driver when it comes to his actual pace and where he finishes.
All in good fun there. All in good fun. I mean, he knows it's all for kicks. Hoopalicious ready to go for another flying one here. Do you see anyone who is currently on a flying lap?
I believe we have... Well, Funky Cactus definitely invalidated. King Kirk's going slow. So it doesn't look like anyone right now. Actually, I don't know how you were saying it earlier, but Ibna, maybe? I don't know how exactly you pronounce his name, but he's on a flying lap right now in the Ferrari.
Oh, he's just finishing up. Let's see. It's on the soft compound. It's about 4 seconds off the pole time there. will be a P14 for Ibanov. All right, we got
Yeah.
Hoopalicious, though. Let's see if he can challenge B-Dunk for that tasty pole position. Only 2:10 separate the two drivers. Hoopalicious now in the second DRS zone, getting right past the traffic there, no problem. Late on the brakes, down on the gears. The Alfa Romeo looking very planted through this section. A little bit of that inside curb, getting the revs way up before the right-hander. Through there beautifully. Braking right before the 50 board. Right wheel over the right-hand curb. Kiss to the left, and into the next right-left complex. Very late on the brakes.
Yeah, he might have taken a little bit too much curb right there. It's going to cost him at least a 10.
Well, let's see how his exit through the chicane is then. Wow. Oh, no!
Oh, no!
Oh.
And I thought he might have been able to save the car, but unfortunately, that is his qualifying over.
That is our first retirement of this qualifying session. Hoopalicious, unfortunately, has lost it through the high-speed chicane. He will hopefully start P2. And let's hope the fellas down at Alfa Romeo can get the car back out in time for this Super Saturday here in Australia.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it looks like Hoopalicious' retirement affected John's lap. I went on board with him, and he ended up going very slow through the chicane.
Did he lift off then completely when he saw the car bouncing all over the track?
Yeah, so I think, John's just going to hop back in the pits, probably put on a new set of tires and go back out. He's still got plenty of time.
Oh, yeah, there's at least time for one flying lap per person. Cutoffs looking like about, I'd say 1 minute 45, 40, conservatively.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably going to want to get out probably at the 2 minute mark just to play it safe. I mean, you don't know who's going to be out in front of you on a hot lap. You have to slow down for. So probably 2 minutes when you want to be getting out of that pit box.
Yeah, that's certainly one thing that was an adjustment period for me when I made the jump from just only doing career mode by myself to actually league racing, was not being able to just exit right back to the garage. I actually have to drive out laps and in laps and stay out of people's way.
Yeah. And luckily for these guys, something that happens in 50% races, when you finish the end of qualifying, you'll have a certain amount of tire wear, but if the session takes control of your car, you'll see a major effect on your tire wear. Now that it's a 100% race, drivers probably aren't going to be too wary of the after effects of their tire wear.
Oh, you could arguably do 2 runs on the softs at that rate then.
Oh, you could. You definitely could. Looks like both McLarens are getting out on their laps right now.
Ooh, who's towing who?
It's going to be Ronan giving the tow for Brownie Man, and Brownie Man's definitely going to need it as he's only sitting back there with the slowest time of the session.
Yeah, he's going to want to make up at least a couple positions there if he's going to want to be an equal or level pegging with his teammate. And Mr. Brown is coming into the final turn here. Let's see where this puts him. Soft compound tires, currently P13. That will do a P7. Well done to big Mr. Brown. And we got John out on an out lap. Do you think he can catch up to our boy, Honorati?
I think so. I mean, he's only 2/10 back. So I think John's going to be shaking off all that rust, and he might easily get in the top 3 right here. It would not count him out whatsoever.
Well, let's see if the challenge is any good today. He's trying to back up maybe some cars behind him, gives him space in front. So the only cars we're short of is a second Haas. Is that so? And a Racing Point, or just a Haas?
No, we have 2 Haas's. We got John, Big Mr. Brown. Oh, what is Jules doing?
Is that Jules on the wall?
He just pulled a Robert Kubica and
Oh, no.
didn't hit the wall, but he cut the grass just like Kubi did last season in Australia.
That was a tough one. All right. Honorata and John both challenging here. Time to beat 124. Can B-Dunk keep their graspy fingers away from him? John looking very fast through that first right left. Man, it is incredible how fast these guys can get the power down and just find the traction.
Oh yeah, I mean, and John half a tenth up right now to sector 1. But yeah, some of these guys really have a great feel for these cars and just know when and where to just put that foot on the gas and just let it go.
I only recently started the no traction control life, and it has been quite the learning curve. Quite the learning curve.
Yeah, it really is. I think it's been about a year now that I've gone with no traction control, and once you learn it, it is so fun in these cars. You really don't have any limitations, and you
You
just
do,
let it
yeah.
fly.
You very much do. Into Sector 3 here with John. You said he's up 5/10. How's he still looking?
He's up half a tenth. He looks like he's going to be on par with his current set time. We'll see what he gets out of sector 3, but right now, no improvements on his time.
Oh, he backs off right at the line.
He does.
Can Honorati do it in the Silver Arrow? Negotiated the chicane well into the right-hander, braking right after the 50 board, keeping it in fourth through there. Now will he coast through this turn? Yes, he will. Into the hairpin of sorts. Teammate going a little slow in front of him. Taking a little bit of that inside line there.
Yeah, you don't really want to get the inside curb, but it looks like he is fine. That's P2. Very nice.
That little toe from his teammate certainly didn't hurt, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Wow. All right, let's run through the starting order once Cody's loads up here. And here's your starting order. We have B-Dunk P1, followed by Honorati in P2. P3 and P4 is Hoopalicious and John respectively. Bringing up the rest of the points-paying positions for qualifying is Easy Breeze, Funky Cactus, King Kirk, Big Mr. Brown, Ronan, and Groggy Oregano. And in the Choose Your Own Adventure category, we have Fontis, Night Shrimp, Sprightly, Brawny Man, DeCoach, Ibna, Run the Jewels, Brackish, and Brackish, neither setting a time. Oh, don't do that. All right. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to collect an adult beverage from the beer receptacle.
I was doing the same.
We'll be back in 2.
Yep.
All right, folks. We are back from our momentary pause there, but we are now loading into the session here. 100% race at Melbourne. I've collected my beverages, and I am ready to go.
Same here. And I got a question for you. How many drivers do you think are going to be able to finish this entire race tonight? Starting off with 18. What's your guess on how many finish?
I've seen races at tracks with loads of runoff so far this season where a lot of drivers have crashed out, and my division raced on Monaco, and we almost had a penalty-free race, I believe. So it really is a mixed bag when it's esports. I'd have to say maybe we'll see 3 or 4 retirements probably within the first half of the race, but I think beyond that, the spacing will be just enough to keep everyone clean and out of the wall.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah, I'll probably go with 3 or 4, and probably 2 safety cars is gonna be my guess for tonight. I mean, 58 laps. That's a lot of laps for these guys.
That
And
yeah, that's 2 safety cars is probably a safe bet because all it really takes is, I mean, this high speed chicane it just eats cars alive. So tires may be going off a cliff at some point around like lap 20, 25. Those mediums might be starting to fall off right then and there, and you'll see a lot of drivers just lose the rear end. So definitely can see that.
and also is gonna see if Onorati, Hoopalicious, and John can maybe challenge B-Dunk here, because I definitely want to see some nice battles up front. I already know we're gonna have some great midfield battles today, but is anyone be able to challenge John and that toothpaste Williams? Is the real question.
Yes, will the toothpaste car have the whitening power to stay in front, or will the silver car gain? Make
We
gains?
might have to put some extra Colgate on his front wing to just slow him down just a little bit.
Oh, here we are. Hoopalicious getting teleported back to the line there. All right, folks, here we go. 100% race distance, live from a digital Melbourne, Australia. B-Dunk on pole. Let's see what we have in store for you this evening. And the lights were already out, but we're underway here in Melbourne. Fantas getting a great start there. Groggy Oregano falling way down the order. What happened there?
Yeah, he just had a horrible start.
Ooh, looks like he missed the lights. Yellow flags in Sector 1 already. Top 3 runners keeping it clean there into Turn 4. Nothing really getting too out of shape. Fontes, Ibna, all the way to the back of the field. Sprightly up to P11. King Kirk, Funky Cactus making a move. Easy Breeze dropping down to P9. The Red Bull running a little wide there. I actually can't tell off the top of my head. Already a close battle here in the top 3. Cactus now down to P17. What's happened there? Yellow flag, Sector 1 and 2.
Yeah, looks like Funky had a little bit of off right there. He's completely missing the left side.
And we've got our first retirement. Ibna has retired from the race. And it's going to bring out a VSC here. Sorry, Nick, you were saying?
No, you're good. Yeah, Ibna did not have a great start. He went off turn 1, didn't see who he made contact with, and went full circle, and it looks like those tires were probably overheated, and it looks like he just ended up sending it into the wall. That's very unfortunate for him.
Oh, well, not everyone can have luck. If there's one thing I've learned about esports, it's 90% skill, 10% luck, and we're back underway full speed now. Lap 1, coming down the pit straight, you got B-Dunk sitting P1, followed by Onorati, P2, Hoopalicious, P3. Those are your podium positions, folks. Behind them, we have John, Ronan, King, Kirk, Brawny, Easy Breeze getting a move done onto coach there, and Sprightly. Those are your points-paying positions so far. Bring up the rest of the field. We have Big Mr. Brown, Night Shrimp, Fantas, Run the Jewels, Groggy Oregano, Air All Brackish. And bringing up the rear, we have Funky Cactus, who is in for a pit stop, presumably to replace a front wing. Another yellow flag.
Oh, the coach. Yeah, the coach going way off after the DRS, the second DRS straight. I'm sorry.
Looks like he's kept the car in one piece, which is good for him. He'll be able to get right back underway here. Onorati already right on the heels of that Williams now.
Yeah, Hoopalicious and John too, not too far back. See if these guys can keep up a similar pace through this first stint.
Your big... Oh, that's a Mercedes!
No! Onorati! No, not Onorati!
That will bring out a safety car for sure. The Mercedes-Benz of Onorati. Wow. Well, we jinxed it. We said that chicane would claim some lives today. It has already claimed 1, it would appear. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
broken front right.
you gave them the commentator's curse. But the one team that's really going to help out, though, is the Red Bull team with the coach and Funky Cactus, because both of them had a horrible first 2 laps. But that's going to bring them both back within the grid, especially for Funky after having the pit. So
Oh yeah, this is a great opportunity for him to get back in the fight, especially on those medium stripe tires. Anyone into the pits, Easy Breeze trying to get that free stop done. See which tire he switches onto. Also run the Jules into the pits as well.
which this could be a very smart decision by these guys. However, Easy Breeze is not doing what I would have done. I probably would have put on the mediums just so you have a free choice of tire for the rest of the race. Get that double set out the way. But Jules is doing it, so Jules now on the mediums. So he'll have free choice for the rest of the race.
Easy Breeze may be thinking about trying to get the moves done on track instead of worrying about getting the overcut.
Yeah, and it looked like he needed a front wing change anyways, so he had to come to the pits no matter what.
Looks like DeCoach has been served a 5-second time penalty there, likely for either corner cutting or maybe speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah, it always boggles my mind when guys end up picking corner cutting penalties during a safety car because, I mean, you're only going about 80 kilometers per hour, and the fact you're still cutting corners and picking up penalties, that just completely blows my mind.
I've got a pretty embarrassing confession to make on air then. I was doing career mode, I think it was last week, and I think I was on France, where it's kind of just like a big parking lot, and without even thinking, I just cut the corner, caught 3-second time penalty, and I had flashbacks turned off, so I was like, well, I guess I'm stuck with that.
Yeah, it happens. It happens to the best of us. So, but hopefully it looks like the coach again.
Severe collision with Brackish.
Yeah, now that's the unfortunate thing. No stewards tonight, so that's not going to get overturned. But there's a lot of times under safety car where you'll just barely tap the guy in front of you, and you'll end up with that 5-second time penalty. So that's unfortunate for the coach.
Very, and it's unfortunate that Codemasters programmed the game to be like insurance adjusters, but them's the rules, I suppose.
Pretty much, just like, oh, you were speeding, and that is now $200 added to your insurance, which is a 5-second time penalty in regards to the F1 game.
Yeah, pretty much. I had the very unfortunate run-in the other day, trying to get my car sold. Spoken to the guy. He's like, "Yeah, so can you explain any of these issues on the Carfax?" And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, man, that was before I owned it." And he's like, "Well, do you know if it was insured?" And I'm like, "I really can't help you out there, buddy."
It's like, I can tell you one thing. It was insured when I had it, and now it's going to be insured when you have it.
He was a nice guy, though. Definitely a car guy. He was trading up from he had 200,000 miles on his Honda. Can you believe that?
That's, I mean, I almost reached 200,000 miles in my very first car at a 99 Acura TL. That baby lasted me forever. So,
a very trusty steed indeed. Is the safety car going to be coming in this lap, or do we have one more parade around here?
I think the fact that Brackish came into the pits on this lap is probably going to stay out. Safety car usually doesn't come in until the whole grid is formed back up.
Now, I was curious about that the other day. I know in real life, if you're a lapped car, you're allowed to unlap yourself, but that's not in the game, is it? Oh, there we go. Car in this lap.
Yep, safety car in. Yep, Brackish got back, so here we go. Hopefully these guys don't try to IndyCar style this restart side by side.
And no kidding. Looks like B-Dunk trying to keep everyone well behind him. And there he goes. We're back underway. No overtaking until the start-finish line, of course. And that's going to be green flags here in Melbourne.
And it looks like Easy Breeze already going for an overtake here on the coach.
And he's almost got the move done to coach. Almost all four wheels off the inside.
Who was that? Big Mr. Brown.
Another shunt.
Yeah, he sent himself into the wall. It didn't look like he got touched by anyone. He just did it on his own accord right there.
Oh, very
And
unfortunate.
that
Oh,
is
that's
the
a
Red
Red Bull.
Bull.
Oh,
And yep, Funky Cactus is MIA now from the session.
that's 3 retirements. So we're already about to hit the over. So let's keep it up, I guess. Just kidding. Of course, clean racing. We want clean racing.
Well, if we had some live sports betting here, someone would be very happy.
You know what? At the rate this disease is keeping up, that might not be too far off. To Coach, unfortunately, falling down the order there. He actually lost 2 positions in 1 corner back there after turn 2. Back on with Hoopalicious trying to close up on B-Dunk now.
Yeah, I believe I could hear Christian Horner sounding like Quincy Steiner back there, yelling some curse words because this Red Bull team is having a horrible start of the race.
You know, I'm starting to think the Red Bull team is cursed because I've yet to watch a league race where a Red Bull has gotten a podium.
Yeah, I mean, I can think back. I got a podium in a Red Bull, and that was F1 2018. So that was quite a while ago, and I don't think I've seen one on the podium yet. But for some reason, Williams and Renaults always do very well in league racing for whatever reason.
That is true. I think it's got something to do with there's a lot of night shrimp getting up on groggy oregano there. I think it has a lot to do with the fans of certain drivers. A lot of people grew up loving the Williams team in the mid-2000s when they were still competitive, and Daniel Ricciardo and Ocon now, and then Hulkenberg used to be at Renault. So they're pretty, I guess, I feel like they're, as far as teams go, they've got a really wide appeal to F1 fans around alike.
Yeah, that's an interesting take on it. Me personally, I've always been a Ferrari fanboy. But yeah, I mean, Renault, definitely Williams. I mean, Williams has a huge fan base, even though they have not showed up on track for the past 2 seasons.
Oh, and that is easy breeze. That is easy breeze. And that's going to bring out a VSC. That is the Racing Point into the barrier, and that looks like brackish Night Shrimp going slowly on track there.
Yeah, Night Shrimp, I think, saw the crash and tried to slow down, and in doing so, sent himself off as well. But no damage to the Mercedes driver.
Oh, good.
Fortunately.
You never want to see a driver lose their race like that, trying to avoid any contact. Very unfortunate for the Racing Point. That now makes 4 retirements there, and we're back underway. Ronan pipping King Kirk there. So we got a tight battle for 4th, and we have a tight battle for 7th, as well as Groggy now hot on the heels of Brawny.
Yeah, Groggy's right there. See if he tries to pull anything off right here.
Brawny trying to protect that inside, but it looks like
Yeah,
Groggy's going to get through.
Brawny broke way too early right there. I had way too cautious.
I suspect he maybe wanted to let Groggy through since he's looking for the overcut.
Yeah, and he has wing damage as well, so that's probably taking a toll on him as well.
Oh, has he got an end plate missing?
Yeah, he's got that left end plate just gone, so
I can see it now, yeah.
That's definitely going to take effect on his McLaren. But Hoopalicious, I mean, still up front with B-Dunk here.
So the question is now begged then. Hoopalicious definitely wants to get past, but maybe he'll be looking for the undercut instead. What lap do these softs realistically have till?
I believe it's somewhere between lap 15 to 18 that the softs fall off.
Looks like we got a Mercedes and Night Shrimp off the course, and that's going to be the 5th DNF of the race.
Oh, man, yeah, it's been very rough. We're only 8 laps in, got 50 more to go, and yeah, that's 5 drivers off. So, yeah, your prediction of only 4 DNFs it's already gone wrong 8 laps in.
Perhaps it was wishful thinking. Hoopalicious actually had to look up the inside of B-Dunk there, but he thought better of it, maybe thinking for he's get alongside a little bit better without sending the dive bomb of the century.
Yeah. Well, and now here for Hoopalicious, too. I mean, unless he has a clear move, if I'm him, you might want to stay behind B-Dunk. He can save fuel ERS because you got to think 100% race. Every driver is starting on the same amount of fuel. You have a full fuel load for the race. So, I mean, he can save up on fuel ERS and maybe use that for his second stint if he can keep up the pace here with B-Dunk.
That's a really good observation. Kind of like a power stint. Go conservative right now. Think about later in the race. I like that.
Yeah, and looks like the coach is retired as well.
Let's see where that was. Let me get the track map open here. That's going to be along in Sector 1, it would appear, after the second DRS zone. I think Brackish is that Brackish pulling by him right now? No, that is.
It looks like big Mr. Brown will come up on him.
I mean,
His car, yeah, his
it's
car is
vanished.
already gone. Yep.
We're now down
So,
to 13 runners, and that is our third safety car of this race.
yeah, I think it's the third VSC. We've only had one actual safety car in the race. So, yeah, 9 laps in, and it has looked more like Wreckfest than it has Formula One.
Unfortunately so. And it seems to me, strategy-wise, we've got 7 cars on identical strategies, and then we've got the 3 medium runners running 8, 9, 10, and then Big Mr. Brown and Fontes trying to get a recovery race going here.
And Bronny spun off at turn 1. So he's going to be all the way down into P10 after that.
Is there any damage on that front wing?
Yeah, he's missing the left end plate.
Oh, it's the same. Oh, he still hasn't pitted, huh?
He has not.
Do you gamble on a safety car at this point, or better off just trying to stay out with that broken end plate?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard if I'm Bronny, because sometimes, I mean, we obviously can see he's missing the left end plate, but sometimes the wing damage is either going to show you yellow or orange, and he's probably got yellow. He might be able to keep going. Maybe hope for a safety car to come out, but at this rate, if I'm him, you might want to just come in the pits the next few laps, because it's really affecting his racing right now.
Yeah, that's true. You'll be losing more in the long run than you could ever be gaining. That 30-second pit stop might seem like a minuscule thing in the rearview mirror after this race is over. But King Kirk, not in the rearview mirror of... Well, he is in the rearview mirror, actually. Excuse me. Of Ronan. So he's trying to close up on the McLaren here. A bit of a dogfight through Sector 3.
Yeah, and it has to be said, Ronan is probably one of the most aggressive drivers. I say it on every stream, the D2 streams, he's very aggressive. He's not going to let this place just go past him.
Would you make a direct comparison to Kevin Magnussen, perhaps?
Yeah, if I'm trying to compare Ronan to a driver, yeah, K-Mag is probably it.
There he goes, poking his nose right back in. He's not giving up that position.
Yeah, Ronan is a very hard driver to overtake. That is for sure. And he's very aggressive when it comes to him trying to overtake whoever's in front of him.
Kirk maybe just going to think about the undercut there instead of trying to risk any contact through the track.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Kirk has a little bit more pace than Ronan, but, I mean, he's losing time now trying to make these moves on him, so he's really going to have to rethink his strategy right here.
And he'll be costing himself tire life.
Yeah, that and overheating his engine as well is gonna cost him in the long run.
Pull up his telemetry here, see what kind of power he's working with. He's charging that battery way up. Probably flip it into overtake here down the pit straight. He's got the DRS as well. It could be see a move here into turn 1.
Yeah, I think he's too far back. Ooh. You want to be within about 0.3 of the guy in front of you. And yeah, I mean, he's now down and all the way into a second.
That little slide into the final turn there has cost him.
Yeah, luckily he did not make any contact with the wall, so wing's still intact. He's still good. He's just gonna. Oh, it looks like Brackish now is getting over on Jules, in the back of the pack.
Let's have a look at the midfield then. Both drivers on identical strategies as well.
But it has to be said, I'm going to go ahead and look what our changes are looking at. Yeah, so Brackish is up 10 positions and Jules is up 8. Those guys are doing very well up there in the midfield.
We got a McLaren going slowly in Sector 3. Bronny man, oh, he's just exited the pits. That's why. And it looks like you were right. He did end up pitting. He was sick of that front wing, and he's given himself the hard compound. He's going to look to probably take a big chunk out of this race on those.
Yeah, well, I mean, he can go to the end on the hards. I mean, the hards, those things, they just don't die at all. His first couple laps here are going to be really hard because it takes forever for those tires to warm up. But I mean, he can go till the end of the race. So he might not have the pace on the rest of the field, but I mean, safety car comes out, guys start to pit. I mean, he might be able to find. Oh, doesn't look that they actually replaced his front wing though.
Oh,
He's still got an end plate missing.
the unfortunate, if you don't box this lap thing, it won't replace the wing even with automatic replacement.
Yeah, unfortunately, Cody said they fixed that in the latest patch, but I've also had the same thing happen to me in a league race where I had to just end up retiring. So that's unfortunate for the McLaren, who's sitting dead last.
Well, at this point, it's never say never. There's always time for a safety car in a PPR race, and Hoopalicious still staying just tucked in right behind B-Dunk here, and that's allowed John to make up a little bit of time. He's now got that Alfa Romeo in his sights.
Yeah, and Hoopalicious, I mean, he's doing a great job of keeping on par with B-Dunk. I mean, you got so much time in this race to make a move that it doesn't have to be done right now. You just have to make sure you stay right next to the guy in front of you, because I mean, so much can happen in the race. It doesn't look like he has the outright pace advantage here on B-Dunk to make a move and pull ahead. So I think right now, strategy-wise, he's doing the right thing and just staying behind him.
For what it's worth as well, looks like both drivers opted for very similar fuel loads, but they both have that yellow light on. I've never done a 100% race. I don't know. Is it supposed to be yellow, or is it usually it's not there at all?
Yeah, usually you'll see yellow because you get just the right amount of fuel load in your car to finish the race. So unlike a 50% race where you can overfuel the car, you can't do that in 100%. So you get somewhere in the race you're gonna have to save fuel. So it's probably what these guys are doing right now, or they could have just underfueled the car knowing they have to save fuel anyway, and use that maybe to have a little bit of advantage pace-wise.
Sorry to interrupt you, Nick, but King Kirk was coming up on the rear of Ronan, and he lost it, and he's actually knocked an end plate off his front wing.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Kirk. I can't pull up our YouTube chat today since we're not an Xbox party, so I don't know if he's got any of his fans here today, but they're definitely not going to be happy with that.
Why don't I pull it up here on my cellular device? Here we go. And it looks like we've got TRC Platinum in the chat. We got Spencer, James Lawrence, Nick Moore, and Ibmek. Any of those names ring a bell? Hoopalicious and B-Dunk opting to pit at the same time. And that is a safety car. Looks like our top three runners now on identical strategies, all on the mediums for this next stint of the race. Hoopalicious done well today to stay in the mix with B-Dunk. John as well.
Yeah, John's doing very well. I mean, he's not had the pace with these front runners, but I think over the course of the race, once he starts to kind of rub that rust off of not playing F1 for what's been a few months now, he might be able to find his own pace advantage on these guys and maybe be able to stick up with them. So it's going to be a very close battle. I mean, it looks like till the end of the race between these top three drivers.
A very crucial restart here then, which all three drivers will want to have lots of temperature into those tires, get the fronts fired up just as much as the rears. Don't want that nasty oversteer into turn one here especially, otherwise you will end up skating across the grass like Verstappen.
And while we have the safety car, I'm going to make sure that all of our drivers here in our Discord are taking a little tune in to this 100% race that we got right now.
Perfect. This late safety car has actually given Brawny Man and Big Mr. Brown a bit of a respite from the very dire positions they were in. Hopefully they can try and catch up the pack here. I think they've got one more lap before they'll be kind of behind the 8 ball moving forward. 11 runners left. We've had 7 DNFs into this 100% race. Your runners so far, I will run you through the order one more time. We have B-Dunk P1, Hoopalicious P2, John P3. Those are your podiums. The rest of the points positions will be Ronan, Kingkirk, Sprightly, Brackish, Fantis, Groggy Oregano, and Big Mr. Brown. Finally, rounding out the back in the only non-points paying position is the Brawny Man 12, who is back 13 seconds there from Big Mr. Brown. But looks like both of One Haas and our McLaren driver will just about be able to catch the pack here on this lap. So exciting things. They've got a bit of a godsend, and our top 3 will be in for a dogfight the next 43 laps.
Yeah, top 3 is going to have quite the battle, and you got to respect Brawny Man here. He's not been on the pace at all through the first stint, but through the power of DNFs and safety cars, he's going to find himself P11 and right outside the points, so might be able to find himself a point or two come the end of the race.
Well, if we learned anything from the Brazil race last year, safety car can create all kinds of mixed bag results. This top 3 may not even be our top 3 in 20 laps time, or maybe they will. We'll have to find out. Safety car is going to stay out one more lap here, it looks. Oh, just
take
kidding.
That back. you're jinxing everything today.
Only 43 more laps to go. Let's see who's got it in them. The Williams and the Alpha said see you later to the rest of the pack.
Yeah, the rest of our drivers were really backing up into each other, so they did not get a great start. But
No,
looks like Brackish is already trying to make a move here on Sprightly in the midfield.
And it doesn't look like it is stuck. Sprightly's still ahead for now. Fantis, though, right on the rear of his teammate. Will his teammate concede the position? Since this is an exhibition race, there really aren't any constructor standings to worry about. This could be a mano-a-mano fight here. Oh!
Oh, no, that is terrible.
Oh,
no! Oh, no! No!
We've got a pile
Fantis. And Big Mr. Brown is off as well. That's unfortunate.
Brown was only a bystander in that pileup. He had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing he could do. And look at that. Brawny Man now in the points.
He's in the points, and he is, more importantly, in the fight. Those soft runners will be looking for him in their rearview mirrors soon enough.
Yeah, but that's unfortunate for Fantis. I mean, he just lost the back end, tried to save it, and he just couldn't. And unfortunately, Big Mr. Brown, as you said, was just a bystander right there, and ended up ending his race as well.
So we are now exactly a 50% fatality rate. Melbourne keeps its KD up for another race.
Oh yeah, I mean, if we're playing some Call of Duty right here, we're doing all right.
Not quite tactical nuke, but there's definitely a chopper gunner on the table for a few more laps.
Oh yeah, it's coming out somewhere on the track. We're gonna see it in a few laps. Maybe B-Dunk decides to send it out there and take out a Hoopalicious behind him.
Great midfield battle forming here. Groggy bringing up the back of this train of Brackish and Sprightly. The Banana Boat flying on those soft tires. Only 4/10 back now on the Toro Rosso.
Yeah, and if anyone knows anything about the Banana Boat squad, I am a Banana Boat fanboy, and I'm hoping for him and Sprightly to have some good results.
Well, they're on course for it right now. P6 and P8 would be a very respectable result, but first they will have to dispatch of Brackish here into the chicane. Always hard running through that dirty air through there. Car can get very unstuck very quickly.
Oh, and it looks like Ronan has got around John.
Oh! He has. Those soft striped tires giving him maybe a little more grip into the corners, and he's made the difference. Think he can catch Hoopalicious? Only 1.8 seconds to make up. A lot of racing left to do.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be able to catch him within the next few laps, because, I mean, Hoopalicious and B-Dunk aren't really fighting with each other. Kind of showing some respects here and not really wasting anyone's true time, race time. So, I don't know, it's going to be hard for Ronan, but I will not count him out to catch up with him.
Hoopalicious doing well to stay just right in the DRS. Midfield kind of stretching out here. We're only down to 9 runners. Man, that went fast.
That really did. I mean, 18 laps in, and yeah, it's been a rough one for some of these drivers.
Sprightly being served a penalty there. But it looks like Groggy Oregano is going to make a move on Brackish here finally. Saving up that battery, maybe for a run at him down the pit straight. Still just a touch far back. He'll want to close up here. Brackish right on the heels of Sprightly as well.
Yeah, see if Brackish. Oh, well, he locks up pretty heavy.
Gone very deep as well. Yes, that will put him, though, right in the breadbasket for Groggy.
Yeah, so, I mean, Brackish, he's in a little Renault sandwich right now.
Not a place you'd want to be.
Oh, definitely not. Not for the Toro Rosso driver, that's for sure. But he's going to have to pull a good result for the team now that Fantas is out of the race.
Yes, that was very unfortunate for Fantas. Nick, what did you think of all the big... There's a big focus on Renault in the Drive to Survive this year. Did you like the way they portrayed everyone, or did you maybe feel they were unfair to some of the people?
So I've only watched the first half of the season because my girlfriend decided she was also going to become an F1 fan this year, so I'm waiting for her to finish off the series with me. So I haven't seen all of it. I will tell you they've done a great job showing all the debacle that was going on with Haas, but I haven't got really too much further in, so I don't know too much what happened behind the scenes with the Renault team.
Well, you're in for a treat then. I won't spoil anything, but you're right about that Haas episode. That was a tough to watch episode. I kind of made the, I guess in hindsight, unfortunate mistake of pegging them my team in 2019 after watching Drive to Survive and becoming a fan of the sport for the first time. So I had a very rude awakening come last season.
Yeah, I mean, and it's very interesting, especially this day and age in Formula One with, I mean, all the technology you have, all the data you have, that they just could not figure out what was going wrong with their car.
I think it unfortunately did show that their business model is more based on maybe a specific scenario or timing than being copacetic to the way F1 teams need to be run. Same with Williams, In fact. They kind of had to learn their lesson to not be so focused on being all about bespoke parts and tools and instead maybe just outsourcing things like a gearbox that are like readily available to a team like them.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a little bit of disparity between Williams and Haas. I mean, Haas still fairly new to F1, but I mean, who knows if Gene Haas keeps them in? I mean, I think all of us, especially any Americans who are in F1, definitely want them to be successful. But Gene Haas, I mean, he could pull the plug at any time if they don't show results on track.
Personally, I don't really foresee a future in which they're a part of F1, even as a fan. I'd like them to stay in the sport, but those couple seasons they had where they're kind of punching above their weight seemed to have really waned, and they didn't really look that hot. I mean, testing is really just testing. You can't really say that much, and our whole season's kind of up in the air right now. But Barcelona was maybe not their strongest showing, especially after, I mean, last year, though, they were finished best of the rest at testing, and they ended up being second to last. So what do I really know?
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, it's all about being able to update your car too throughout the season. Which, I mean, they showed up at Australia. Unfortunately, they had the incident with Grosjean and him not being able to finish the race. But I mean, they showed up early in the season. It's just once teams started upgrading their cars, they just couldn't keep up, and then the race pace was atrocious. I mean, you just look at the Austrian Grand Prix qualifying really well, especially with K-Mag. I mean, they were set up for a great finish, but come race time, the race pace is just, it was horrific. I mean, they couldn't do anything. And I mean, drivers, I mean, you can't do too much with a car that just does not want to keep on par with the rest of the grid, and they fell back so much. And that was kind of just that was kind of symbolic to the whole season.
100%. And after the season was over, the writing finally came out on what the problem was, and they said it was a rear aero stalling effect that was causing the rear tires to they weren't being stuck to the ground by a rear wing, maybe say as any other car was, and the tires were sliding through corners and it was overcooking them. So the drivers, maybe when they should have been able to put their foot down and find that grip.
Oh, and as we say this, Hoopalicious is going around B-Dunk right now.
Oh, oh, we got great eye. I didn't know he was going to go for the move, but
he took a peek at turn one. But I mean, B-Dunk doing a great job defending position. Hoopalicious might start getting a little antsy back there, a little bit anxious. Thinks maybe he might have the pace.
He figures this is his rev it up lap. Maybe he might want to get the move done on this stint and worry about him 20 laps down the road as opposed to now.
Yeah, I mean he's looking for moves anywhere now on B-Dunk, so he's
having a peek.
He's definitely on the overtake position now. He does not want to sit behind this Toothpaste Williams any longer.
Seems like he saved his fuel up enough too, and he's got that battery charged all the way up. He's gonna have the DRS here.
Yeah, he's in a great position. He might get it done right now.
Taking the outside line. Can he make it stick? The Williams is going to want to defend that inside position, but he's left him room. And they're side by side. Looking for the switch back there. Nothing really going. Will he dive up the inside here? No, he will think better of it. DRS straight coming up. Both drivers looking very good.
Unfortunately for Hoopalicious, he just carried too much speed trying to overtake B-Dunk, and that allowed B-Dunk to get back at him.
Oh, he way overcooked it, and now B-Dunk's going to have a way better exit through there. But the DRS is getting him back in the fight. B-Dunk going to cover the outside line. Alfa Romeo is going to stay tucked in the slipstream into turn two. Can the Alfa get a good exit? Perhaps, perhaps not, though. B-Dunk covering that inside, going very defensive. Back to the racing line. Braking early, anticipating the slipstream. B-Dunk.
Oh, but B-Dunk overshoots it.
Very wide on the exit there. Has the Alfa got the move done? One more turn to find out. B-Dunk coming back at him, and he's back in front. What a great battle we've got on our hands.
Yeah, and I mean, that's very smart by Hoopalicious. He definitely backed out right there. I mean, going through, I believe it was turn 5 or 6. Yeah, you can't go too wide through there.
Having another look, carrying a little too much speed through there, riding that outside curb quite a bit into the high-speed chicane now. Both these drivers, shots across the bow, left and right. The gloves are coming off.
Yeah, and as we said that, ERS-wise, B-Dunk is really struggling compared to
Oh, is he? I've got the telemetry open for Hoopalicious. He's ready to roll.
Yeah, B-Dunk sitting at 22, and yeah, I mean, Hoopalicious near 100%, so.
What do you think in pit straight?
He might be able to get him. He's got to get a good exit right here, though.
We're on board with him now. Not quite the exit he wanted, but he's got the DRS. Should bring him right up to that gearbox before turn 3. And he's got a good exit. He's got a really good exit.
Yeah, this might be it right here.
B-Dunk going very defensive. Will it be like before? Side by side, wheel to wheel. B-Dunk's just going to keep it. Oh, no. Butt cheeks everywhere are clenched.
They are, even mine. These guys are getting really close to each other. The one thing they don't want to do is take each other out. I mean, they definitely have the pace over the rest of the field. I mean,
Oh,
get
without a
some good
doubt.
clean racing, but
Without a doubt.
don't.
Ronan's on the soft tires, and he has yet to close that gap. He's actually fallen back on the red stripe tires when these guys have pulled out an incredible interval to the rest of the field.
Yeah, well, it has to be said, before Hoopalicious and B-Dunk were battling, Ronan was 4.5 seconds back. I mean, he's almost into that 3-second gap.
I thought he was only. I must have misread it. I thought it was only a 2.5-second gap. I'm
No,
sorry.
he was 4.5 seconds back. So, I mean, this battling's really helping out Ronan. Even John as well, because John's right behind that McLaren of Ronan. So, I mean, this is helping out third and fourth place if they keep battling it out.
Could be on for a three-way battle for first. That'd be a great way to finish this one up.
Oh, that would be a beautiful way, as we're now almost halfway through.
Halfway mark's going to be at about 29 laps, so 4 more laps to go, folks. Looks like Hoopalicious is going to tuck back in. Doesn't look too eager to get ahead of the Williams.
Yeah, he looks like he's back in ERS saving mode right here.
Those red striped runners going to start thinking about when they want to pit. Groggy and Sprightly going to be in a battle of wits. Oh, and that's a dive up the inside.
He can't get it done though. I mean, that was a very optimistic move there by the Alfa Romeo driver.
You know, you really gotta love the gusto. Let him race into the chicane. Good exit. Still in that DRS. B-Dunk staying to the racing line. Maybe Hoopalicious will have a think down the pit straight.
Yeah, no, I mean, Hoopalicious is getting so close to getting the overtake done, but you have to think, he's going to start thinking about his pit strategy, which is, I mean, he's still got about another 10 to 12 laps until he has to pit, but he might be thinking maybe undercut here on B-Dunk.
I was thinking the same thing, actually. Or maybe if B-Dunk gets overtaken, that's kind of like the other shoe dropping. Go for the undercut. Don't even worry about him. Because he's now, Hoopalicious here has been grinding his tires, staying right in the dirty air of B-Dunk now for quite a few laps. He has the pace, but won't that come, maybe those chickens will come home to roost in a few laps' time?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's definitely going to come out to who opts to pit first. And, I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, still got quite a few laps left until we see their next stops. But, I mean, you also have John too, right behind Ronan, so battle for first going on and the battle for third as well.
Battle for third. Oh, yes, John, very close there now. Ronan can let him by if he wants, but I don't think it's not really his style, is it?
No, it's definitely not. I mean, Ronan, his pit window's coming up in the next few laps. I mean,
Hoopalicious right on the back now. Saw that gap drop down to 0.08. Very much anxious to get by. It's almost a wing to gearbox at this point. Can he get a good exit down the pit straight? He's got a good run through there, it looks. He's got that rear wing open. He's going to go up the inside. Yes, he is.
And
can he make it stick?
Oh, it looks like he does.
Wow.
And he's got DRS as well, so B-Dunk is going to be a sitting duck now.
It looks like it's undercut time for the Williams. Pitting around maybe lap 35, perhaps? Lap 38?
I'm going to take it, yeah, probably anywhere between 36 to lap 40. I mean, since we are in a 100% race, you can extend it just a little bit more. So probably between laps 36 and 40, we'll see him come in and probably put on the medium tires unless they can extend the stint even more and maybe opt for the softs, but that's a little bit risky taking these mediums that far in.
Softs at the end would require you to have Fernando Alonso-like driving, where you're putting in purple sector after purple sector, and I wouldn't actually put it. I wouldn't put it past either of these drivers to maybe consider a strategy like that.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, they've already shown us. I mean, we're almost 30 laps in now. They've shown us that they definitely have the skill to do it. but you still have to do it. So we'll see what outcome comes between these guys because the rest of our field's kind of starting to go back. John's now reclaimed third position.
I got a feel for Bronny, man. He's hanging on for those last 2 points.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to respect it. I mean, he's stood his ground. He's taken what's been given to him today, and I mean, P9, 2 points. I
Oh,
mean,
hey, that's. I remember my first league race. I was happy just to finish 12th. I would have taken killed for 2 points.
yeah, I mean, if we're talking about first league races, I remember back in, I believe it was F1 2017, when we were in our prior league. And yeah, we had a full race at Brazil, and it was wet the whole race. That was my introduction to league racing. Was a complete wet race at Brazil, and I finished P6, and I was happy with it.
Wow, that sounds intense.
Yeah, well, I was also kind of doing what Bronny Man's doing right now, and just waiting for everyone to DNF in front of me. So that was kind of my strategy. I feel for Bronny Man right now. I definitely get where he's at in this race.
Esports is very much a battle of attrition, so you're very much right in saying you never say never because my second league race ever, who I won't say on chat, he T-boned 3 drivers off in front of me at the very second turn at Bahrain, and promoted
Oh,
me from.
that sounds like squirmy.
It was not squirmy, but he's a big fan of El Maze. For those of you Spanish speakers out there, El Maze. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. It fell right in my lap, and I stayed good on the strategy on the hards, and I was like, wow, I was gifted a P5 just out of thin air.
Yeah, and it looks like Hoopalicious, he's getting about a tenth or two, probably only a tenth a lap right now on B-Dunk, but he's definitely extending his gap, even if it is only 6/10 right now.
Oh, compared to Hoopalicious on B-Dunk, he's much further in front.
Yeah, and B-Dunk still, I mean, he's still struggling a whole lot on his ERS. I mean, like I said in the beginning of the race, I mean, Hoopalicious, just save your fuel and your ERS and wait to kind of start pushing, and that's what he's doing right now because B-Dunk's still struggling on fuel and ERS.
Wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe drop back and start charging those particular things up.
Yeah, I mean, Hoopalicious, he's doing a great job right now. He's about to bring it out within a second. I believe Kaon is going to take a quick road trip for maybe the next 2 minutes. So it'll just be just me here as we watch Hoopalicious try to gain any type of advantage he can on B-Dunk, but B-Dunk still chasing very close. He is only now half a second back, and Hoopalicious is struggling now this lap, so this might be B-Dunk's chance to get himself back into P1. We will have to wait and see. And also, now that we're 30 laps into this 58 lap race, I just want to thank everyone in the chat for giving us your comments, watching the race, especially sticking through a 50 lap race. We greatly appreciate it here at PPR. So if you can send us a nice little like, if you like what you're seeing, subscribe if you're new. And if you're new, thank you for joining. We love new people. We love building our channel and our league. So it is much appreciated from everyone here at PPR. But it definitely looks like B-Dunk now is looking to see if he can save as much ERS as he can while still staying behind a pretty reasonable gap here to the Alfa Romeo of Hoopalicious. And he's still only about 6/10 back, so he's doing a great job of managing the gap. But he's still wasting a lot of his ERS. I mean, you look at Hoopalicious up, he's now at about 70%, while B-Dunk is only at 30 when it comes to ERS. So this is definitely like Taeyon said earlier in the race, it's a race of attrition as we see Sprightly pick up a 3-second time delay for multiple warnings.
And we are back.
Oh, and yes, we are. We are now back.
The whole gang's here. I had a chance right now to pull up my iPad, which I've got all the different interviews we had with the drivers earlier in the day today for our quote unquote paddock pass here at PPR. Your teammate actually, even though he's not racing, he was nice enough to chime in.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the responses. I was kind of got my hopes up that Chandler would actually show up to the race, but at least he showed up in the paddock pass.
Very much so. He's like you. He also hasn't caught up on F1 at all either, on the Drive to Survive.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to finish the season. I mean, when it dropped, I watched the first 2 episodes, and since then, I've been waiting for my girlfriend to finally start watching it with me. So she's still finishing up season 1.
You know, I do think that's really funny you say that. My current girlfriend and I went through the same thing a year ago. We watched it together, and now she's a huge F1 fan, and I couldn't get her to watch anything sports related, but she thought Charles Leclerc was cute, so it was an easy
Well, you
sell
better
from
watch.
there.
Better watch out now. Charles might be Mr. Steal Your Girl.
I have it on good authority, according to some social media, that Charles does have a new girlfriend, so I'm safe for now.
Okay, you are safe for now.
Funny enough, though, we did go to Monza last year. We planned our 4-year anniversary around it, so she was over the moon when he took the victory there.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I mean, I was the same way. I'm a Ferrari fanboy. I've been watching Ferrari since I was a young lad living in England.
So I guess I should ask then, what do you think is going to happen with Sebastian, assuming this season gets underway at some point?
That's a great question. I don't know what's going to happen with Seb. I think it all depends on how he does this season. I mean, depending on what the calendar looks like due to COVID-19. So,
by the way, B-Dunk just said a purple sector, and it looks like he is now trying to get by the Alfa Romeo of Hoopalicious. Sorry to interrupt.
he is right on the gearbox. But he loses the back end. That's going to cost him.
Very much so.
But yeah, I completely forgot where we're going with this conversation as I'm now looking at B-Dunk trying to
No
gain
problem.
a position here.
Let's go live to the track now. I'm on board with B-Dunk. Him and Hoopalicious now definitely starting to take mental notes about each other, where they like to overtake. Hoopalicious is a bit of a slide there. A lot of racing left to do, but the name of the game is undercut here at Australia, so.
Yeah, and that you speak that too. So Ronan's just come to the pits, and he did 18 laps on the softs. Groggy as well coming to the pits, 18 laps on the softs. So it's looking like if they can extend to lap 40, they could definitely put on the softs and go till the end of the race.
Oh, that'd be a great fight, wouldn't it?
Oh, it definitely would. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for now. Because unfortunately, I mean, with half the grid being out within 18 laps, I mean, the rest half the grid have done a pretty solid job of sticking to their wits and keeping it on track.
B-Dunk hasn't charged that battery at all. He is putting everything here just to try and get past and return the favor for earlier in this stint.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like Hoopalicious is...
Oh,
as he picks up a 3-second time for that.
Oh,
As unlike all of my other races, we both
Oh,
usually solo
contact!
commentate. Oh,
They touched!
B-Dunk down.
They've touched. And they're side by side through the right-hander. Oh, Hoopalicious gets by. He stays ahead. Wow.
Yeah, but very much like Hoopalicious trying to get around B-Dunk through that same right-hander, he did the same thing earlier a few laps ago. He's just going to back off, and B-Dunk did the same because, I mean, you understand you cannot go too wide right there. Someone is catching the wall.
Oh, yeah.
So very smart there from the Williams driver.
Yeah, very big shout out, though they won't be able to hear this till after the race, but big shout out for the great sportsmanship we've seen between these two drivers who very much are at the top of their game in this race and are showing a lot of respect.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, they've given us some great racing tonight. And, I mean, they've definitely shown respect to both of each other. Hoopalicious actually made this race because B-Dunk invited him to it. So, I mean, shout out to B-Dunk for kind of enabling this great battle we're seeing right now.
Need to get Hoopalicious into Division 1. We could have some even better fights.
Oh, that is sure. I mean, we already have some great fights, but if we could get another quick boy in there, I mean, that would be even better.
He's having a look. Man, he really wants to get by now. He's carrying a lot of speed through there.
Yeah, he is. It looks like Koopalicious is not doing very well on these old mediums.
Oh, B-Dunk trying to go around the outside. He's got it done, I think. That Alpha still... Oh! He's back in front!
He thought about it. Hoopalicious thought about going too wide right there, but definitely thought better of it. Yeah, he just caught a little bit of oversteer right there going through turn number, I believe it's turn number 4. And yeah, he realized that position was conceded after he made a little bit of a mistake. So yeah, B-Dunk back into P1.
Will Hoopalicious be able to serve that 3 seconds in his pit, or will he have to wait for it to be applied after this race?
No, that will be applied after the race. So all he can really hope for right now is that B-Dunk picks up his own 3-second time penalty. But the way that B-Dunk's racing right now, I mean, he is playing track limits like to the T. So I don't know if he's going to pick up a 3-second time penalty. But like I was saying earlier before they started battling, that I'm your co-commentator, I can check the incident reports.
Oh, yes. I don't have to leave anything to questions anymore. This is nice. Wow.
Yeah, I know. I'm not used to it either. I'm used to being by myself and just kind of going off what people tell me in the chat.
I have to say, Nick, this is a lot more enjoyable than talking to yourself.
It definitely is. It's quite the experience to be able to have someone else with you in the booth. So hopefully we can get back together sometime soon.
I'll tell you what.
But yeah,
if you can be there, I'll get the PPR Blazers made.
Oh hell yeah! And it actually So B-Dunk has 1 warning right now, so he's gonna have to pick up 2 more before he gets a time penalty. Hoopalicious right now doesn't have any warnings. He's gonna need 3 more to pick up another time penalty. So he's gonna have to hope that B-Dunk picks up a time penalty, or in his final stint of the day that he just gains a massive pace advantage on B-Dunk. But I don't see that happening.
Hoopalicious might have to hope for the overcut here then, which is unfortunate because he's already down a position on track. But if he's going to want those 3 seconds at the end, he will need a grippier compounded tire to put in those purple sectors.
Yeah, and I mean, if I'm Hoopalicious, he's gonna have to look for the undercut. I mean, you can't go over at all because B-Dunk's most likely gonna pit for the softs unless he pits this lap or the next. He's gonna go on the softs, so he's gonna be much faster than Hoopalicious. So Hoopalicious, he's gonna have to pit before B-Dunk. I mean, there's no question about it.
And then pull out that 3-second gap from there.
Yeah, pretty much. Unless B-Dunk picks up his own.
And it looks like he's doing it. B-Dunk's pulling to the side, actually. Or is he just... Oh, he's going to protect his inside. Going very defensive, running wide there on the right side. Very, very interesting tactics. I'm not really sure what happened there.
Yeah, defending the inside through turn 1 is pretty risky because, I mean, you're really trying to just hop the curb and send it into turn 2 and take as much curb as you can without track extending. So B-Dunk defending down the inside right there is, I mean, it worked. I mean, he did it, but that's a very risky bet to take.
Would he have picked up a warning there as well?
He could have. I doubt it. Didn't look like he track extended. So he looks like he is so good, so clean.
Wow, look at that. All top 5 runners now. Deep 20 lap old yellow striped tires. Ronin, Groggy, and Sprightly in the mid pack there, on probably going to the end on those tires, correct?
Yeah, they can most likely go to the end of the mediums. I mean, you're extending them just a little bit beyond their normal tire wear, but nothing too much to be able to make it work till the end.
And then Bronny's going to have to come in one more time, it would appear, as well.
Yeah, for Bronny, I mean, like I said, he's been a true champ today. He is getting what's been given to him. And, I mean, P9, I mean, that might be all he can ask for.
Looks like our leaders are coming up on Bronny right now.
Yeah, and this, hopefully he doesn't affect this battle too much and he does pull off to the side. but we'll just have to wait and see until they catch up to him, which they probably should. But yeah, he's already going slow. He's going to let them by right now.
Good of him. And that battle will go on uninterrupted. And it looks like Hoop has dropped back quite a bit now. Those yellows starting to dig.
5, yeah, about 5/10 back. Yeah, it looks like B-Dunk has a slight pace advantage when it comes to driving on worn tires. Hoopalicious definitely has a pace advantage when it comes to fresher tires, as we saw when he took P1 earlier in the race. But yeah, now that B-Dunk has started to pull up just a little bit here on the mediums, you can definitely see that he's doing better on the worn tires.
Without a doubt. Midfield has field spread quite a bit. John 8 seconds back on Hoopalicious. Ken Kirk 17 back on John. Brackish though looking to close up. Might be thinking about trying to get out in front of Ken Kirk via pit stop. Purple sector there for Hoopalicious, by the way.
Yeah, Hoop is not giving up, and it has to be said, he still has so much battery left in. Oh, B-Dunk's still struggling. He might get a move right here.
Oh, little contacts there.
Yeah, and it looks like, yeah, B-Dunk did. He did what I thought he was going to do. Very sportsmanlike. Slowed up just a little bit because he knew that Hoopalicious was going to lose some time right there. Slow down, let Hoop catch back up, and right back to racing. Luckily, Hoopalicious caught no damage.
Excellent. That's good news. That is very good news. Interesting how Hoop's able to keep such good pace without really using that ERS. That ERS is worth like about 100 horsepower, right?
Yeah, well, and it's also has to be said, if you watch the official F1 esports, what a lot of the drivers do is they won't make any moves till very late in the race, as Hoop actually might make one right now.
It looks like he has, and he's caught it. He's caught it.
Oh, yeah, he's caught it. But like I was saying, yeah, a lot of the F1 esports drivers, what they'll do, they'll sit back majority of the race and run 0, at most 2, run medium ERS, and save as much as they can till the end, because you can do that in the game with the slipstream advantage that you get, because the slipstream's so overpowered.
It is a 100, because if it didn't exist in the video game, it'd be a very unfun game to play, as it turns out.
Yeah, that's very true. But yeah, it's kind of what Hoopalicious is doing right now. He's applying that tactic, and it's worked very well, even though he's still sitting back behind B-Dunk, but that's kind of the whole point of the strategy.
Very interesting stuff. I got to start thinking that way about my league racing. I might see myself on the podium maybe once or twice if I start thinking that far ahead. I'm usually like a horse with blinders. I just strap on the softest compound I can, and I just try to push him, you know?
And just keep pushing lap by lap, purple sector through purple sector until they completely explode.
That was the unfortunate end of my race in Monaco with, I forgot his name. The Canadian guy, and I think it's Funky Cactus, maybe?
Yeah, Funky
T3?
Cactus. Yeah, Funky Cactus.
I was stuck on yellow striped tires, and he had the hards, but once they went off that cliff, I was sliding around like a soaped-up watermelon in a vat of grease.
Yeah, and that's really when you come, like what we're seeing right now with B-Dunk and Hoopalicious, when you come to a guy that has the same amount of pace as you do, like one lap pace, it's all about who can race the strongest on worn tires, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now. Is, I mean, they're coming on lap 41 and they've yet to pit. I mean, their pit window's open right now, so
Sprightly was the first to blink in that mid pack there.
Yeah, John
B-Dunk with a penalty. We're on level pegging again. It's gonna have to get done on track.
And that's what we love to see. let them finish it out on track.
Absolutely.
We don't want to see penalties ruin this. What's been a just completely terrific battle.
And it looks like Hoopalicious is having a look. B-Dunk just weaving a little bit to the right, staying right in front. Wow, they've gone all the way down to lap 41 on these yellow striped tires. I wonder who will blink first.
Well, I'm guessing within the next 2 laps. They got to pit. I mean, by lap 43, these mediums are going to be done. So they're going to have to pit pretty soon.
Ah, Hoopalicious, another penalty.
That's very unfortunate for him. That might cost him come
What
the end of the race.
he might think, overtake on track, pit, and just try to outrun B Dunk to the finish.
Maybe.
He's running out of time, isn't he?
He's also got to take in consideration.
Oh,
they're
they've
both
both gone
time.
in.
Let's see whose pit team is better.
Oh, whoa, B Dunk.
Oh yeah,
Dodgy.
to have such a great battle and almost have it be caught. Oh, 5 second time. That was a very late penalty. Yeah, he picked up 5 second
B-Dunk?
time penalty for no Hoopalicious.
Oh
Picked up
no.
a 5 second time penalty. I'm gonna make sure that's correct because that was very late. I might just be hallucinating, but yeah, I believe that was a 5 second time penalty for Hoopalicious.
Why don't you dive into race director, and I'll keep an eye on things here on track.
I already am ahead of you, and yeah, that was a 5 second time penalty for Hoopalicious. So that's now 8 seconds.
To B Dunk's 3, so 5 second basically.
Yeah. Well, no. So Hoopalicious has 2 3 time penalties. One of those do get cut out from B Dunk's 3 second, and then the 5 second time penalty will make it 8. So in total, yeah, he's going to be 8 seconds back. So we'll see if B Dunk can pick up any more time penalties, but the way he's racing right now
does not look likely at all.
It doesn't look like it.
Let's hope my commentator's curse is good for one more time today.
Yeah, just go ahead and just say that B Dunk is going to pick up 2 3 second time penalties, and we'll just let it be.
B Dunk looking kind of slow on those fresh tires. You're right. Not quite the pace advantage he had, like when he was on the worn tires. But
yeah, I mean, and this is Hoop's chance. He has to get the overtake done right now.
And then he's got to start putting in purple sectors. He's right up on him now.
Yeah.
He's got the DRS. He's right in his ass is in the, his butt is in the jackpot. He's around the outside. Now Williams is going to stay right down the inside. He's going to hop that inside curb to the second DRS straight. Ooh, B-Dunk staying just in front. Into the left-hander now. Hoopalicious looking very planted through there. Letting those engine revs run high. He's going to look up the inside. No, he won't. He'll stay right behind B-Dunk now. Into the left-right before the bendy left into the high-speed chicane. Having a peek. Nothing quite yet either.
Yeah, it has to be said, too, with Hoop. It looks like he's struggling on fuel once again. Yeah, he's got that yellow fuel light on. B-Dunk looks to be fine, besides the fact that his ERS is pretty depleted. But yeah, Hoopalicious also going to have to worry about fuel as well, so.
Maybe if you're a Hoop, do you short shift run in standard mix, or do you drop down to lean and just put the pedal down?
You just drop down and lean and put the pedal down, because a track here like Australia, you can put it in the lean and not lose too much time. Because, I mean, there's not too many fast sectors of the track you have to worry about.
That's true.
If you're going through Sector 3, I mean, he can put it in lean the whole way and not lose really too much time at all to B-Dunk.
He's kept that ERS, though. Maybe he might want to think about cranking some of that battery out. Doesn't seem too vexed about the penalties, then, if he's just going to hold back here.
Yeah, and unfortunately, when a driver's in front of you, you can't see what their time penalties are. However, B-Dunk, he can see what the time penalties are with Hoopalicious. Jeff will let you know. The one thing Jeff is actually good for here in the game. So B-Dunk will know that Hoopalicious has these time penalties.
And it looks like Brackish has just pitted as well. He's gone onto the soft compound tire to finish on that.
Yeah, Brackish went 32 laps on the mediums. I mean, that was quite the second stint. Oh, it was B-Dunk. I'm seeing an X arrow right now on B-Dunk.
Oh, he's ghosted. He's left the session.
Oh, and you know what? I'm going to invite him right back.
Hoopalicious might get the break he needed right here.
This definitely is. The game said, hey, we know you have 8 seconds of time penalties. We're going to kick out the driver in front of you real quick and do what you can until he comes back.
Unfortunately, real F1 isn't like this, folks. But you know what? This is esports. Anything can happen, especially because of Xfinity. Wow, and he
Yeah,
has pulled way out now. He's already got 1.6. He needs, what, 5 seconds now?
he's going to have to bring it all the way up 8 seconds, so he's going to need another 6 seconds right here. Yeah, but B-Dunk's already back in the session.
Wow, what a break for Hoopalicious there.
Yeah, luckily the one thing we did do tonight when I was setting up the lobby was push the AI up to, I believe, 75. So if someone did get disconnected, we're not going to lose too much time.
Oh, that's good. Is normally set at like 40, correct?
Yeah,
Right
it's
about?
normally 41. I believe we've changed it now for most of our league races, where it sits at 69. Because, you know, who doesn't love that number?
It's a really good number. It's divisible by 3. Did you know that?
Yeah, it is. It is divisible by 3, and there's a lot of things you can do as an adult with that number as well. But yeah, B-Dunk is, he's almost 5 seconds back now from Hoop.
So that now gives Hoop a 3-second gap to close in theory. You said it's 8 seconds for him.
Yeah, it's gonna be 8 seconds, so he's gonna have to get out within 8 seconds here of B-Dunk.
I would estimate Hoopalicious is going to start burning that battery, and it looks like he kind of is, actually, for once in this race.
As we have McLaren. Oh, Bronny.
Is Bronny out?
Of the race.
Oh, bro. Oh, it's a VSC. VSC.
This is one of the times I would have actually prayed for a safety car, bring the entire grid back together, but we will not see that.
Have we hit our? I think we're one short of our daily limit of safety cars. Correct? This is number 4, and the limit's 5.
I believe this is number 3.
Oh,
I believe this is number 3. Okay. Yeah, I believe this is the 3rd safety car. Well, we've had 2 safety cars, so if we did pick up another one, it would be 3. The VSCs don't matter towards the actual race itself. It's just safety cars.
Ah, I didn't know that. The more you know. And B-Dunk's now 4.8 back, 4.9-ish. So we'll call it 5. And they're on the same tire. John's 5 seconds back on B-Dunk. Ronan is the best of the rest right now, and he is 20 seconds back on John. And heels.
Yeah, but the thing for Ronan right now, 13 laps in on the mediums, King Kurt could definitely cut down that 4-second gap. I mean, if he can somehow find the pace, because he's on the softs.
It's only got 12 laps. That's a very, very reasonable strategy there. Got to imagine a lot of our drivers have very sore hands and thumbs if they're on a controller or even if they're on a wheel. Most folks.
Yeah, I mean, my legs would probably be. Oh, Groggy,
another retirement.
Groggy's out. What happened to Groggy?
Let's see. I think Hoopalicious is coming up on him now.
Yeah, Hoop is. Looks like he lost it the same place Fantas did as well, pretty early in the race.
Through the right-hander?
Yeah, it looks like that's what happened. Yep, he did.
Oh, and he's vanished. That is that. And we're back underway now, just like that.
Yeah, and only 7 drivers remain.
Wow.
That's crazy. We predicted 4 DNFs, and we've gotten, what is that now, 11?
Yep. That's rough.
that is rough. But the one thing here for Hoopalicious, if B-Dunk does pick up a time penalty, he's in the positive.
Oh, that's true now because it's a 6-second gap. Oh, that is something very much something to watch. You know, I almost feel remiss that I thought about it earlier when I was walking around my house. I'm like, maybe we should do reduced damage tonight just in case. But no. We went the standard settings, and I kind of wish maybe I had said something because we're down to 7 runners here. With
it was mentioned earlier. However, that might have maybe saved 2 or 3 of our drivers, but most of our drivers have just completely lost it and sent it into the wall. Even with reduced, it wouldn't have helped too much.
You know, it's just this circuit. It's kind of like it reminds me. It's kind of like I feel like a beginner's Singapore. Like you want to get used to having barriers like very much in your way. This is a great track to get used to having walls.
Yeah, that's a very very good comparison. It is kind of like a beginner's Singapore. It's like if you put 2 Australias together, you'd probably get Singapore. And
You would. You would.
But I mean, Hoopalicious, he's gaining about a tenth or two a lap right now, and B Dunk might fall under that 8 second gap. Hoop might be able to pick up the win. We got 10 laps to go.
Is he starting to set those purple sectors now?
I'm not seeing purple. Oh, he
Ooh,
almost lost the back end. Yeah,
bit of a snap there.
not setting purple sectors, but he still has that yellow fuel marker, so he might be short on fuel right now.
Oh, we don't need to see anybody going at a crawling pace at the end here. Let's hope he's got the wherewithal to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I definitely think he does. He's probably just trying to push and extend his gap. He knows he needs 8 seconds on B Dunk. He's probably asked Jeff. Jeff's probably told me he only has 3 seconds, so he knows he has to bring it up into 8. So he still has time to save fuel, but he's also got to bring that gap from 6.5 to 8 seconds.
Very much so. It looks like no one else will have to pit. My teammate Sprightly bringing up the rear. In front of him, we have ARL Brackish and then King Kirk. And Ronan is your best of the rest. Your podium paying positions haven't changed. For those of you paying attention at home, still Hoopalicious, P1. With penalties, it's actually B-Dunk. But if Hoopalicious can pull out that gap, he will be in the jackpot. John is the final podium in P3. But looks like King Kirk, you're right. He's already closed that gap. Should go on board with him now.
Yeah, he's brought it within 1 second, so he's going to slowly creep up on Ronan here. Ronan knows the battle's coming. Just what lap is what matters.
Great to see a Ferrari and a McLaren battling on track. It feels like it's been some time.
Oh, it really has. But hopefully, come 2021 regs, we will see a complete shakeup of the grid.
I do get that sense every time they interview Andreas Seidel. He's really keeping his cards close to his chest. He's not saying anything about the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what we saw with the V6 hybrid era. I mean, no one knew what was going to happen. Especially, no one expected Mercedes dominance. Because before the hybrid era, I mean, you had Schumi and Nico in that Mercedes team, and they didn't do too much the season before the hybrid era. And now we're seeing, I mean, what's been Mercedes' version of early 2000s Ferrari dominance. So
I was not around for those days, but I do know the NFL comparisons that people have been kind of giving to me is that Mercedes has kind of done what the Patriots have done in the last 10 years, where they've always been in the hunt. And that's yellow flag. Sprightly.
Sprightly. No, not Sprightly.
And it looks like he's lost it through that same right-hander.
Yep, that has been the death trap of all of our drivers, unfortunately.
And that also, unfortunately, I'm very sorry to say, Nick, that is the end of the Banana Boat crew for today.
That is, but P7 and P8 for the Banana Boat crew.
They will collect those points. You're very right.
They will. I mean, Cyril might not be happy with 2 DNFs, but, I mean, still picking up points. So 6 drivers remain out of 18. We've definitely seen what kind of toll a 100% race goes.
Very much so. And Brackish now is getting in on this action. Ronan's fallen so far, is fallen way back now. And could be a 3-way fight here for 4th now in the closing stages of this race.
Yeah, very much it could be. And actually with John right now as well, I'll wait for see what King Kirk does here.
A lot of contact there into turn 1. The McLaren's run wide. He's in the gravel. Oh, that could be a penalty for the Ferrari. King Kirk now, though, up. And that is Brackish coming at him into the next turn. Ferrari's going to defend him there. Toro Rosso's going to look for the cutback there. He's going to do the move around the outside. No, he's going to think better. He's going to tuck right back in. A little touch of the gearbox there, but into the right-hander. There you go. King Kirk is now leading Brackish, leading Ronan. Holy goodness.
It has to be said, though, Ronan did not leave the space. I mean, I said it earlier. I've said it multiple times here on the stream. Ronan is very aggressive, but he didn't leave the space. And, I mean, Kirk didn't have anywhere to go. That's why they made contact. It was primarily due to Ronan's fault there. Since we don't have stewards, I'll go a little bit more in depth than I usually do. But Yeah, it was definitely probably to the fault of Ronan. He just didn't leave the space, and Kirk just didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, it would kind of come down to the telemetry there. If you see that McLaren hold its line when it maybe passed when he should have turned in, that'd be a pretty easy call to make. I was actually reading Jensen Button's book today, How to Be a Formula One Driver. You know, just in case I ever get the call from Ferrari, but I was reading it, and he was explaining how he would always leave space because he's like, I'd rather not crash. And it actually makes that right there is a great example of what happens when you don't. And the Toro Rosso has got plenty of space from the Ferrari there, but the Ferrari's going to stay just ahead. But he's always side by side, 2 wheels on the grass.
Yeah, Brackett's trying to get him back. He's going to have DRS as well. I don't think he's going to be able to make a move back here. Yeah, he's not. And he just got up on the grass. That's going to cost him a lot of time. He's going to still got 6 laps to catch back up to Kirk here. So
definitely get the pedal down now.
Touching the grass. Yeah, touching the grass right there definitely affected him.
Certainly our only battle on track, that's for sure.
Yeah, but as we look to the timing charts, B-Dunk is almost outside of 8 seconds.
You're right. I just noticed that now. He has 2/10 to close, and it looks like B-Dunk's falling way back.
Yeah,
there it is.
He is. Yeah, 8 seconds. So 5 laps to go, and they might not be side by side, but timing-wise, B-Dunk is outside of the race win.
Very much so. He just dropped down to 8 2/10. One of the other things Jensen Button wrote in the book, he specifically referenced a driver who hates to give up his position. He literally said, "Now let's take a look at Kevin Magnussen." I almost spit out my coffee.
Yeah, and that might be why we see K-Mag and Grosjean get in so much trouble with each other, because they're just both very, not selfish, but very hard-headed drivers.
You know, it is so weird to look at. If you look back at F1 just in the 2010s, both of those individuals were Ronan being served a penalty there. Both of those individuals were at one time supposed to be the future of the sport. And it seems to me like right around 2014-15, the sport just like blew right by them, and they got stuck at a privateer midfield team when both of those guys were, challenging for podiums. Kevin was a McLaren driver at one point. He scored a podium in his debut. So,
well, yeah, and if you look at Grosjean, I mean, when he was with Lotus, he had Kimi as a teammate, and Kimi was still outperforming him. So
that's a good point.
But I mean, it's also, that's the Iceman. That's Kimi. I mean, Kimi's top tier driver. I mean, Grosjean, he came off of 2 years from rally, and he was still dominating in the F1 world.
And what's crazy is, even then, Roman was challenging for podiums, second places even, not just third places, but he was finishing in the top 3. Pretty remarkable stuff considering the way the last couple of years have gone for him. The Ferrari's going to go defensive there, but it's going to stay just in front of the Toro Rosso.
Yeah, Brackett's going to have DRS. Might be looking for a move right here. Might be too far back.
He's got the battery. What about King Kirk? They're about equally matched, aren't they? Ooh, King Kirk getting a very bad exit through there. Is Brackish playing on a controller?
Yes, Brackish is a pad player.
I was going to say, I can tell by the steering. Very delicately looking for a way past.
Which it always blows my mind. I did about 2 months on a controller when I had a hiatus from my rig setup. And the fact that they can do this just completely blows my mind. I mean, it's so hard to be consistent on a pad, especially, he's done 55 laps now, and he might get it over.
Oh, wow. A lot of bobbing and weaving there, but Kirk stays in front.
Yeah, he was looking for the dummy. He almost got the dummy.
That was, yeah.
If he cut any more down on the inside, he probably would have taken out Kirk. So, very smartly done there by Brackish.
King Kirk going defensive. Brackish going on the outside here. Kirk staying alongside. He turns in, leaving the space, though. Always leave the space. Ferrari.
Always leave it a space.
Ooh, that Ferrari's having a look, but nothing quite yet. The Toro Rosso staying just in front.
Yeah, these guys do not want to concede fourth place, but Brackish, he's might be able to just take off here now from Kirk.
2 laps to go now. Halfway through 3 laps, pardon. 2.5, whatever. Brackish and King Kirk. Brackish burning that ERS, trying to pull out a gap here. Kirk just saving up his ERS and staying right in the slipstream. Those soft tires not maybe feeling a little bit of wear so far, but still very much in the fight. DRS open. Oh, he's going to have a look, but Brack's going to cover him off. Into the coasting right-hander. And the hairpin. Just trying to stay behind him. King Kirk. Ooh, bit of a snap of oversteer there. He's going to look for him down the pit straight there. He's got the DRS very far back. Can he make up any time here? Overtake turned on.
Yeah, he's probably feeling the wear on those softs now. Those softs are starting to fall off from him.
Very much so. Both cars sliding very much.
I mean, he's still keeping himself in the fight.
Brackish got a bad run out of turn 2 there, it seems.
Also has to be said, John in third place, only a second half back from B-Dunk. He might be able to take P2.
He might.
Oh, B-Dunk into the pits.
Into the pits?
Yeah,
Wing change?
B-Dunk has entered. He might be going for fastest lap. I mean, he has 41 seconds on fourth place from Brackish, so he might have just conceded P2.
Wow.
Well, I mean, if you're B-Dunk, he knows the race victory is out of his hands. He's not going to get it. He's not going to come back in.
Very good
seconds.
point.
So,
Very good point.
I mean, go for fastest lap of the race. Why not?
Yeah, he's on those fresh softs. He's got 1 lap to get him warm, basically a formation lap, and then he's got a light fuel load in lap 58, and he's going to send it around the track there. Kirk now burning everything he's got, trying to get back within striking distance of Brackish now. Brackish staying just 5/10 in front. Not getting a great run out of turn 3, 2, whatever. Doesn't matter. The Ferrari's there. That's what matters. Ooh, a little deep there for Brackish, and we got a dogfight now.
Yeah, Brackish went defensive when he shouldn't have, so that's what cost him a lot of time right there. He should have just kept the normal racing line. Unfortunately, he didn't.
King Kirk now charging up that battery. Not a great exit by either driver. Those soft tires have completely fallen off the deep end now, it seems, for both cars. Through the chicane. Both cars keeping it clean. Ken Kirk getting a good exit. Squeezing that battery to the rind. Ooh, a little lock up for Brackish, but he's kept it so. Into the coasting turn. King Kirk's going to be about 4/10 back into the hairpin.
Yeah, and coming up on their last lap of the race, we'll see if there's going to be any change here for P4.
Battery all the way up into hot lap. Great exit through there. Brackish looking very slow down the second DRS. Brackish staying to the racing line. The Ferrari's up the inside. He's got 2 wheels alongside. Ooh, that's going to be very close through there. The Ferrari doing well to not make any contact with the Toro Rosso through the right-hander now. That Ferrari's now dropping back by a few tenths. Can he make up the time now before the next upcoming corner?
Yeah, Brackish is going to have to make a mistake. Hoopalicious. Oh, that's just his 5 seconds from earlier.
Looks like he'll just stay out of the good graces of John. Big lockup for Brackish there. Those softs are gone. He's running all over the grass. He's all over the track. The Ferrari's having to look up the inside. Brackish covering him off into the chicane. How close will they be? Having to look, back to the racing line. Brackish is going to cut the corner. That's going to cost him the position with time onto the dirt. Both drivers.
Cost Brackish the race. And he's into the wall, too. Brackish completely fumbling the whole bag at the end of the race.
He's missing end plates. He's got penalties. It's a disastrous end for the Bernardi team here. The Ferrari's going to have a look. Brackish is going to go defensive. Yes, he will. He won't let that Ferrari up the inside. He wants it done on track. He'll say, come find me at the steward's room. Down the pit straight. Can the Ferrari get a good exit? It's going to be a drag race here, folks. Honda power versus Ferrari power. And, well, the Ferrari's got it done on penalties. There you have it, folks. Your finishers.
Yeah,
Hoopalicious, John, B-Dunk, Kingkirk, Brackish, and Ronan. Sorry, Nick, you were saying?
Yeah, no, just Brackish had it. He just fumbled it through that last chicane. Might have felt the pressure there from Kirk, and that's going to be P5 for the Toro Rosso team.
Wow, that was actually a pretty fun race, I got to say. I didn't find it to be that slow.
Yeah, it was. It was really fun. It's probably because, we're not just talking to ourselves. We got someone to talk to. But, I mean, congrats, first off, to Hoopalicious.
Of course.
John picking up P2. He probably didn't expect that P2, and B-Dunk in P3 as we see him pop the champagne. So, but yeah, it was an exciting race. I mean, even with more than half the field DNFing, which you might be able to expect from 100% race. I mean, we saw some great battles on track. So, yeah,
and we've
what a race.
Got another esports event coming up this weekend as well, with featuring real-life racers as well. Stoffel Van Doren will be there. Max Verstappen, Lando Norris will be on the Veloce channel. Our across-the-sea cohorts.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Veloce for putting that on. I mean, John Eric Verne kind of got all these guys together last second to put on a race. So it's another thing we go check out tomorrow.
And I'm very much looking forward to it. Folks, that's your race here from Melbourne. I am your host, Besteon.
And it's me, PPR Nick. I'm glad that you guys watched. If you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we all love you here at PPR.
And with that, stay classy, y'all. There's your final finishing order. We've got, let's see if I can read it off to you. And it's gone. Just kidding. With that, stay classy. All right.